Right guys, so today we are going to start the sixth lecture of our course on engineering mechanics for GATE Mechanical Engineering exam. My name is Rajat Gupta and I am teaching you here engineering mechanics. So in the last lecture we have discussed some problems related to statics and we have started finally the new topic truss. Okay, so now we are going to move further in our chapter of trusses. Okay, so in the previous class we have discussed how to calculate the support reactions, when the truss is subjected to the load. Okay, so we have understand the concept to determine the support reactions. Now we are going to start our study further on truss. Okay, so now we are going to start the next topic, that is the method of joints. There are two more topics remaining in truss. First is method of joints and another one is the method of section. So our organization name is Mechanical Gate Zone and I am Rajat Gupta, your mentor for this course. Now let us begin. So before beginning, if you are new to our channel, then you can subscribe our channel so that you can get the notification of our new videos. And also after completing the lecture, if you have any query or doubt regarding the subject, then you can also share your doubts or on our Telegram channel. So you can join us on Telegram also. We are there to solve all your queries. So you can search us on the Telegram with the same name, that is Mechanical Gate Zone. Okay, so now let us begin with the next topic, that is method of joints. Okay, so let us start now. Right, so we are beginning with a new topic, that is method of joints. So before starting the method of joints, write down the heading in your notebook, and the heading is interaction of loads, reactions and internal forces. Okay, so the heading name is, write down the heading in your notes, interactions of loads, reactions and internal forces. So basically we are dealing with plane trusses in our syllabus, right? So now we are going to move further to solve this analysis on trusses, right? Okay, so you have put the heading. Now we are beginning. So now put your pens down and look towards the screen carefully. We are going to discuss some of the critical concepts regarding the trusses, right? So first of all, I am making a simplest truss, that is having only one triangular section. Okay, to understand it, we are taking the example of a simplest truss that is having only one triangle. So this is a pin jointed member like this. Okay, and this member is connected with another member like this, and there is another member which is connected like this. Okay, so here we have hinge joint, and here we are having a roller support. Clear? So this is a truss having three members. Total number of members are three, that is one member is AB, another member is BC and another member is CA. Okay, so now what I am going to do, what I'm going to do, I am applying a point load at a joint B, because we have stated the condition that all the load should be bear by the pin joints. Okay, so I am applying a external load P on the joint B. Clear? Pin joint B. So what will be the effect of this load? So how the members will carry the load to how the members will transmit the load P in their respective members. So we are going to deal with that. So first of all, you look here. Okay, so we have, I am going to show the support reactions. Since C is a roller support, so it is having only the vertical reaction, because there will be no reaction in the horizontal direction. So I am mentioning it like RCV. Clear? On the on support A, there are going to be two reactions. First one is, let us say, RAV in vertical direction, and the other one is like here in horizontal direction, because it will resist the motion in two dimensions, that is horizontal direction and vertical direction. Okay, so there are two reactions, but in this case, since there is no external load in horizontal direction, so RAH will become 0. That is not the matter of concern. We are showing all the reactions in this. Okay, so now what we are going to do, how to analyze these the force which was distributed in the members AB and BC due to the external applied load P. So we are looking towards them. Okay, so what I am going to do, I am going to separate all the members and all the pins. Okay, I am going to separate all the members and all the pins here. So if you observe, I have made this one as a pin. Okay, next I have made another pin like this and another pin like this here. Clear? So if you observe, this is the pin number A, this is the pin number A, this is the pin number B, and this is the pin number C. Okay, so the AB member is this one. This one is the AB member, which I am going to show you like this. This is the AB member. Okay, so I have separated this member from the joints. Okay, similarly, in the same way, you can observe this is as a AC member. This is an AC member, and similarly, I am showing you the BC member like this. Like this one. Okay, so what I am going to draw, I am going to draw their longitudinal axis, so that you can relate it very easily. Okay, like this one, and another one like this. One second, let us make it more correct and precise. Right. Okay, now it's perfect. So we have applied a point load P on the pin B. So I have clearly mentioned in the previous class that all the load should be applied to their pin joints. So this is a pin joint B on which an external load P is applied. Okay, and this system remains to be in equilibrium. This entire system, in why entire system, I mean that all the members and all the pins, I am repeating, all the members and all the pins will be in equilibrium. Okay, so this is the concept which we are going to do, which we are going to observe in this case, right? So I have to put the joint B in equilibrium. So what will going to happen? Observe at joint B carefully. If you observe at a joint B, let us first mark the members. Okay, this is member AB, this is member BC, and this is member CA. Clear? This is member CA. Now observe carefully. If you want that this joint B remains in equilibrium, so by a common sense we can predict that the member AB will apply a force like this on this joint, like this. Wait for a minute. Right. So this will be like this. Okay, and also the member BC will apply a load like this. Okay, so this is FBC and this is FAB. Clear? So you can observe that this is a problem on a point. The three forces passes from a point, and these all the forces are coplanar and concurrent, and all are same in nature, means all the forces are pushing the pin B. So we can apply Lami's theorem very easily. So I have decided the direction of these forces AB and BC like this. Okay, so there is a reason behind this, because if you observe carefully here, if I draw the axis like this one, so if you resolve the components of FAB and FBC, so the horizontal component of FAB will exist in towards right, and the horizontal component of FBC will be towards the left in the horizontal direction. So the resultant of these will become equal to 0, and also the vertical component of this FAB in vertical direction and the vertical component of FBC along the vertical direction together will cancel the effect of P, and hence the joint B is in equilibrium. So you have clearly observed it. So this is the way we have decided the direction of forces. Okay, so now according to the third law of Newton's third law, so this, if FAB is like this one, then the pin will also apply the force FAB like this. Okay, FAB like this. So this is the force FAB here in this member, and here also you can observe the force direction like this, FBC. Clear? Okay, so this whole the complete FAB will transmit along this member AB and will apply a force FAB on joint A like this one. And in the similar case, the joint A will also, one second, I will short this for the better picture. Okay, okay, so this whole load FAB will be transmitted in this member AB, and hence the member AB will exert a force FAB on this joint A in this direction, which I have shown in green color. Now what will happen? This joint will also exert a force FAB on this like this. So this is gonna be FAB. Clear? Now if you observe carefully, since this is a P, so due to this external applied load P, what we are having the support reactions. we are having the support reactions. And what are those support reactions? This is like RAV, and here we are having like in this direction RCV. Clear? Here RAH will be 0. That is not the matter of concern in this case, because the net external force in the horizontal direction is 0. Okay, so we have discussed up till here. Now we are going to analyze the joint number A. Now we are going to analyze joint number A. So look here carefully. What will देखिए, look here. So this is a vertical line. This is a vertical line. So if you resolve FAB in two parts, then you will get the vertical component of FAB will be in the downward direction, which will balancing the RAV. So hence the net vertical force will be 0 in the y direction. But we want the net horizontal force also 0, so that it can be remain in equilibrium. So hence if you observe carefully, the horizontal component of FAB, in this case will be like here. Okay, so the horizontal component of FAB will be like this one, this line. So to balance this, what we want that the member FAC will exert a force on joint A such that it cancels the horizontal component of FAB. Hence we can say that the FAC direction will be here. Okay, and by the Newton's third law of motion, if FAC like here, then the joint will also exert a force like this, so it will be FAC. Okay, clear? If you want this system to be in equilibrium, then FAC will also be in this direction like this, FAC. And according to the Newton's third law of motion, if FAC is here, then FAC will also be like this. Okay, so this is the way we have decided. Now observe the joint B again. If you observe this FBC, the load carried by the member FBC will be transmitted to the joint C, and in this direction, this one, this is FBC. Clear? So if you observe carefully, this FBC can be resolved in the two components, one horizontal and one vertical. So the vertical component will be in this direction, which will cancel out the RCV, and the horizontal component of this FBC will be in this direction, which will cancel out FAC, and hence the joint C is in equilibrium. Okay, the joint C is in equilibrium. So you have clearly got the concept what is going on in this case. Okay, so now what I am going to do, to show you the internal forces. Okay, internal forces. So let us make this AB here, like this. Okay, so if you observe carefully, this member AB will having the force FAB like this, FAB. If you cut this section, you can observe that like this. If you cut this section, you can observe that there will be some internal forces. Which will try to resist the force FAB. Okay, so FAB. So hence the resistance force developed in this section will be in this direction, and the resistance force developed in this part will be in this direction. And since the member AB is in equilibrium, hence you can observe that if this is the force FAB, then this is the force FAB, then 100% these both the forces must be FAB. So we have discussed the interaction of loads, reactions and internal forces. Okay, so you have to draw this in your notebook. Then we have to dictate some points, so that you should also write them in your notebook after writing this. So first of all, write this in your notebook. Clear? So this is the starting of method of joints. Okay, this is the starting portion of method of joints. So write down in your notebook. Okay, now what I am saying, listen carefully. If a member pulls a joint, if a member pulls a joint, then certainly it will pull the other joint. Then certainly it will pull the other joint. Okay. Example, for example, if you observe this member AC, if you observe this member AC, then what is this? Observe the effect. The member AC is pulling the joint A towards itself by applying a force FAC, and similarly the member AC is pulling the joint C by applying a force FAC. So if a members pull a joint, then certainly it will pull the other joint on the other end. Okay, with the same magnitude. And it is also true for the pushing also. If you observe the member AB, then the member AB is pushing the joint AB by applying a force FAB. Clear or not? In a similar fashion, the joint AB is also pushing the joint B by applying a force FAB. Clear? Now consider the another point. If a member pulls a joint, if a member pulls a joint, then the member itself will be in tension with the same magnitude. So if you observe the joint number A and C and the member AC, so member AC are pulling the joints, the member AC are pulling the joints toward itself with the same magnitude. So you can observe that the member AC is in tension, the member AC is in tension. Okay, these are the tensile forces. These are the tensile forces. Tensile forces are the when the point load is acting on a cross section and normal on the cross section and away from the cross section. These are tensile loads. Okay. Next, this is also true for the pushing case. If a member pushes a joint, then the member itself will be in compression itself with the same magnitude. Observe the member AB. The member AB is pushing the joint A and the joint B with the same magnitude FAB, and hence you can also observe that the member AB is in compression. The member AB is in compression with the same magnitude force FAB. Okay, so you have to observe these important points in this figure. So now what we are going to do, I am writing down some points. Then you have to write them in your notebook. Okay, so write down the note. Write down the notes which we are dictating to you, and so we are writing down some important notes. Note number first. If a member pulls a joint, then certainly it will pull other joint. It will pull other joint with the same magnitude. Okay, and vice versa means opposite is also true. and vice versa for pushing. Clear? This is the first point. The next note is, if a member pulls a joint, if a member pulls a joint, if a member pulls a joint, then the member itself will be in tension with the same magnitude of force, and the point number third, if a member pushes a joint, then the member itself will be in compression with same magnitude, Okay, so these are the 3 points which you have to write in your notebook after making this figure. Clear? So make this figure very quickly in your notebook, then write these points. Okay, now we are starting the method of joints. Actually, we have discussed this analysis. This is nothing but the method of joint itself, but I have to show each and every member in the starting of this topic to make a clear picture in your mind about this topic. So now we are briefing up the method of joints in a note form. Okay, so write down method of joints. Write down the heading, method of joints. Right. So what is the concept? Write down the concept. So equilibrium of a joint is considered in method of joints to find loading in member. So we have did the same thing in the above example. You can see we have considered the equilibrium of a joint. If a system is in, I am again repeating, if a system is in equilibrium, then each and every part of the system will be in equilibrium. Either it will be a member or it will be a joint. Okay, so we have considered the equilibrium of the joints in this case. So this is the concept. Now what is the procedure to solve the questions with the help of method of joints? So write the procedure. So write down number first. Find the reactions at the supports. Find the reaction at the supports if required. Next, consider the equilibrium of joint. Consider equilibrium of joint where only two unknown members are meeting, and use the equations net summation of fx will be 0, net summation of fy will be 0 to find the unknowns. So this is a point which you have to keep in mind. So what does the point number second states? We have to consider the equilibrium of those joints where only two unknown members are meeting, because if there are three unknown members, then we have to find out the three unknowns using these two equations, which is not possible for us. Okay, if unknowns are more and the equations are 2, then we cannot find. Okay, so we have to take those joints where only two members are meeting, because we have two equations only in this case, that is net summation of fx will be 0 and the net force along the y direction will be 0. So you have to use this concept and you have to follow the procedure so that you can get the answer very quickly. Okay, so if you didn't write the in your notes, then you can write down. So I am scrolling, then you can write. Okay, write first this portion, then write this one. Okay, so we have discussed the concept of method of joints. Now what we are going to do, we are going to solve the problems. Okay, we are going to solve the problems, right? So to start a problem, we are requiring, okay, before starting problem I have to explain two more points. Which are very important. You have seen the number of questions in which they are asked the number of zero force members, means the number of members which are carrying zero force. So to solve such type of problems, there is no need to solve. You have to apply the concept which I am giving here. Okay, so write down the note. Again, write down the note. So the note number 1. If at a joint right, if at a joint three members are meeting, and two are collinear, then force in the third member will be 0. Then the force will be third member will be 0. If there is no load or reaction at that joint. So you have to highlight this part. This part. See this one. if there is no load or reaction at that joint. So you have to highlight this part. Next, I am explaining this what this point is stating. Okay, so observe here carefully. Suppose we have three members like this. This is first member, and this is another member like this, and let us say this is another member like this. Okay, so if you observe, there are three members in this case. Okay, so let us say this is member number AC, this is AC member, this is AB member, and this is AD member. And this angle, let us say the AD member is making, let us say alpha. Clear? Alpha. So if you observe carefully the joint number A, there is no support reaction, there is no load, or no support reaction. So what we are observing from this point, if at a joint three members are meeting and two are collinears, means AC and AB, this AC and this AB are collinear. Okay, then the force in third member will be zero. Means force in AD member will be zero, provided that there is no load or reaction at this joint. I am explaining this point how. Observe here. I am joint number A, I am making this one like this. Clear? So if you observe, this is the joint number A in this way. Let us say the member AB is pulling the joint number A towards itself like this and applying a force FAB. Clear? And in a similar way, the member AC is pulling the joint A toward itself by applying a force FAC. Clear? And in the similar fashion, let us say the member AD is pulling the joint towards itself by applying a force FAD like this, and let us say this angle is alpha. Clear? Clear hai? So since the joint is in equilibrium, so I can say that this FAC will be equal to FAB, so that this force and this force get cancelled. Okay, so if you observe, there will be no, and if you observe carefully, if I draw a perpendicular line, let us, one second. Now it will be better to draw. Okay, so observe here. So this will be FAD and at an angle alpha. Clear? So if you observe here, what we are going to have, observe here, if I try to resolve this FAD in two parts, then one part will be along this line and one part will be perpendicular to this line like this. So here, if you consider this component of FAD, this perpendicular component, so this is nothing but FAD sine alpha. FAD sine alpha. And if this joint wants to be in equilibrium, okay, if this joint wants to be in equilibrium, let us say I am making the axis like this. This is x axis and this is, let us say, y axis. Okay, So the net force along the x direction should be 0 and the net force along the y direction should be 0. In the y direction there is only one force, which is nothing but FAD sine alpha. If you observe carefully, FAD sine alpha should be 0. Due to from the structure you can observe that alpha is not equals to 0. This implies that sine alpha will not be equal to 0. So it is possible only if FAD will be 0. And if FAD will be 0, then you can say that also FAB plus, here you will get what? FAD cos alpha, okay, plus FAD cos alpha is equals to FAC, okay. So we have write using the equation net Fy will be 0, and we have write this equation by using net Fx will be 0. So if you observe, we have found FAD to be 0, so putting this FAD will be 0, so you can observe that FAB will be FAC. So this is the reason why the member FAD will having a 0 force. So okay, so whenever in a structure you have found something, some pairs like this, then you can easily predict the force in the members, provided that if the member which you are observing, the joint which you are observing, carry no load or reaction at that point. Okay, so this is the case, you have to observe carefully. So this is a good concept to solve those problems in which you observe that how many number of zero force members are there in a given structure of truss. Okay, so this is the way we have to describe. Now we are going to see another point which will also help us to determine the number of zero force member in the structure of plain truss. Okay, so the next point will be the point number 2. Write down the point number 2. Okay, before writing, just write down this one. So you have write this already. Now you can write this explanation in your notes. Okay. Right. Now I am going to explain the second point. So you have to write the point in your notes with me. Write down that if at a joint, one second, I am writing in a good manner again. If at a joint two members are meeting, if at a joint two members are meeting and they are non-collinear, then force in both the members will be 0, provided that if there is no load or reaction at that joint. So you have to mark this point again in your notes. Okay, what point? If there is no load or reaction at that joint. So you have to mark this point again. So now I am going to explain what this point states. So we have clearly observed the previous statement Now we are going to analyze this statement also, right? So let us start. Observe, this is a member, let us say this is a member of a truss AC, and there is another member of truss having the force like this, and this is the angle theta between them. So you observe at a joint A, the two non-collinear, means the axes of the truss are not in a straight line, means they are non-collinear. Okay, at a joint, two non-collinear members are meeting. Clear? So also there is no load acting at joint A, or there is no reaction at joint A, and hence the force in both of these members will be 0. Why 0? I am telling you again. Consider joint number A here. Let us suppose that F, the member AC, is pulling the joint towards itself by applying a force FAC. And in a similar fashion, the joint AB is also pulling the joint A by applying a force FAB. And these are inclined at an angle theta. So we have only two equations, that is the net force along the vertical direction will be 0 and the net force along the horizontal direction will be 0. So what I am going to do, I am using this one first. So net force along the vertical direction will be 0, which means that FAB sine theta, the vertical component of this force will be along this direction and will be equal to FAB sine theta, right? FAB sine theta. Okay, so now if you observe, this FAB sine theta should be 0. Since sine theta is non-zero, this implies that FAB will be 0. And if you observe again, the net force in the horizontal direction is equals to 0. So what we are going to do, what we are having, you can observe here very carefully that the net force in horizontal direction will be the horizontal component of FAB plus the force exerting by the member AC on the joint A. This should be 0. From the first equation we have clearly mentioned that FAB is 0. This implies that FAC is also 0. Clear? Clear? So this is the way we have described these 2 points, and these 2 points are required to find the number of members having 0 force in a given plain truss structure within a fraction of seconds, my dear friends, if you have practice. Okay, so these are the this is all about the method of joints. Now we are going to do problems, then we will start the last topic of our statics and equilibrium, that is the last topic is method of joints. Then we will discuss the next chapter, that is translation. Okay, so note down, this point is also important for you. Right. So now we are going to start the questions. Okay, so observe, first of all I am let us take a question, let us make a handmade question here itself. This question will not be found in the workbook. So after this question we will solve the workbook questions. Okay, so the question is like this. Question is like this, that in this member, in this structure of plain truss which I am drawing here, this is a plain truss structure like this, and this is A, B, C and D. Clear? Here a point load of 10 kilonewton is acting at the joint B like this. Okay, so you have to find out the joint in member BD, the joint in member BD. So let us choose a color first. Red color is perfect. Now in this question you have to find the force in member BD. Okay, so some of the student gets confused that there is the dimensions of the members is not given in the question. Okay, so it is not a matter of concern. There is a trick, and there is nothing trick actually. I have not given the dimensions in the question. Only this data is given to you, and you have to find the member in you have to find the force in member BD. So observe here, observe the joint number D very carefully. This joint number D. At the joint D, there are 3 members meeting, out of which the AD and DC member are collinear, and the BD member is at the angle of 90 degree. So if you observe that there is no external force or reaction exerting on the joint D, and hence we can say that the force developed in the member BD will be 0. Clear? Now a student came and said, sir, if you observe the joint number B, the external 10 kilonewton is acting at joint B and it will create some effect in the member BD, then how you can say that FBD will be 0? So to clear that doubt, what I am going to do, I am making the FBD of joint number D. Clear? So this is the, I am going to draw the FBD of joint number B. This is the joint number B, and if you observe here carefully, this is the 10 kilonewton force which is externally applied to this joint. And to resist this 10 kilonewton force, the FAB will be like this, and FBC will be like this. And if you observe very carefully, then you will come to know if the geometry was given, then you can find the angles very easily. And in that case you can observe that the net horizontal component of FAB will be in this direction, and the horizontal component of FBC will be in this direction, and they will be equal in magnitude, so that the net horizontal force in the horizontal direction will be 0. And also the combined load in the vertical direction due to the FAB and FBC will be like this, and they both will cancel the 10 kilonewton force. So there is no role of BD member in this case. Okay, so the force in BD member will be 0 here. So this is the case we have discussed. What I am going to do here, I am just changing the figure little bit, only little bit. I am going to change this figure. So observe here very carefully. I am drawing the same structure, but I will change the loading here. If you observe, this is the joint B, and this will be like this one, like this, and like this. One second, let us make it proper. Yes, so the same structure I have made, but I will change the loading this is roller support, this is A, C, D and B. Clear? So here the 10 kilonewton force is acting in this direction, and now what I am going to do, another 10 kilonewton is acting at this joint D. Now in this case, the force in BD member is not equal to 0, because if you observe at the joint D, there is some external load acting at the point D. So you cannot apply this principle. Clear? So we have to solve this. So what we are going to do, we are taking the, and in this similar question, the dimensions is not given to us. Just I am explaining what I am going to do here. If dimension is given, then you can find every reaction very easily. So consider the equilibrium of joint D. At a joint D, if you consider the equilibrium of joint D, then you can observe that here, let us say the FDC will be like this one, and FAD like this one. I have assumed this. Okay, it is not compulsory that FAD will be in this direction. It can also be in this direction also. Okay, it depends on the final result. If your final result comes out to be positive, it means that you have taken the signs correctly, and if the answer comes in negative, then it means that the actual signs will be the opposite that you have assumed in the question while solving the question. Clear? So it is not the matter of concern. We have discussed these points in previous classes also. Now what is acting here, this is a 10 kilonewton external force, and now in this case FBD is not equal to 0. So let us mark FBD like this. This is the FBD. So if you observe, the net force in the horizontal direction should be 0. If net force in the vertical direction should be 0. So if you count the net vertical force to be 0, then you will observe that FBD is 100% 10 kilonewton in the upward direction. Okay, and if you observe the net, this came from this equation, and if you observe net force in horizontal direction should be 0, then you will get FAD will be equal to FDC, and it will be in horizontal direction should be 0. Okay, so if you analyze the, and how you will get the FAD and FDC, by solving the joint B equilibrium. From this point B, you will get FAB and FBC, and from FAB and FBC go to the joint A, then calculate the force exerted in these members. Okay, and they will come to be equal in magnitude according to this. So this is the concept which we have to follow. You have observed that if I change the loading little bit, so in this case the net force acting in the BD member is 0, but in this case, since the net force acting on the joint D is non-zero, hence FBD is not equal to 0. Clear? Right? Now what we are going to do, right, let us solve a question. Using the data given below. So I am again making a question which is not given in the workbook. So this is a structure which you are observing on your screens. This is a member, and this is a roller support, and here this will be like this, and here this will be like this. Okay, and again this is A, this is B, and this is C. So this angle is 60 degrees, this angle is 30 degrees and this angle is given to be 90 degrees. Okay, and what is given in the question, observe here carefully. A load of 20 kilonewton is acting at point B. 20 kilonewton load is acting at point B. Okay, so you have to found the force in member AC. You have to found the force in member AC. Okay, so this is a question you have to solve. So first of all, you have to look the question carefully. So before starting the question, look the points which we have discussed, the procedure we have discussed. Okay, so read the first point of this procedure. What is this saying? Find the reactions at the supports if required. If required. If it is not required, then you can solve the questions without finding the support reactions, and we are going to see that concept, that how we are going to solve the question without finding the support reaction. Okay, so observe here. I am saying consider the equilibrium of joint number B. So consider the equilibrium of joint B. If you observe, this is the joint number B, and at this joint external force of 20 kilonewton is acting in this direction. Like this. This is the 20 kilonewton force, and this is the joint number B. So now if you observe carefully, let us make the axis to get a clear picture. Okay, so let us say this is x-axis and this is y-axis. Clear? So to get a clear picture, let us assume that the force exerted on joint B by the member AB is like in this direction. Let us say this is FAB, and what I am going to show, I know very well that FBC will 100% like this, but for your concern, to get your point clear, I am taking the direction of FBC in this direction. Okay, in this direction. So if you observe carefully, you cannot apply Lami's theorem in this case, because the nature of forces acting at this point, at this joint B, is not same. Two forces are pushing the joint and one member is pulling the joint in this case. So okay, so you have to solve the equations like net force in x direction is equals to 0, net force in y direction is equals to 0. So you have to solve two equations like this. But what I am going to do, I am taking this for the easy calculation. What I am going to do, I am taking the FBC in this direction. So this is FBC. Clear? And clearly it can be observed that this angle is nothing but 90 degree. 90 degree. If this angle is 30, then this angle is also 30. If this angle is 60, then this angle is also 60 degree. Okay. So what I am going to do, I am applying the Lami's theorem here, because now all these forces are acting at a point in a same plane and the nature is same of all the forces. So what I am going to do, I am applying Lami's theorem. It is nothing but FAB upon sine. You can observe that this complete angle, the angle between the 20 kilonewton force and FBC force will be taken. It will be 90 plus 30, that is 120, and it will be equal to FBC upon sine of this complete angle, that is 90 plus 60, and this 90 plus 60 is nothing but it is equal to 150, so it will be sine 150, and it will be equal to 20 upon sine of this angle sine 90, which is equals to 1. Sine 90 is equals to 1. So solving these equations, you can observe that FAB will comes out to be 17.3205 kilonewtons, and if you observe the FBC, then FBC will comes out to be 20 times of sine 150. Okay, so it will comes out to be 10 kilonewton FBC. So if you observe, these are the forces which we have got, FAB and FBC. Okay, so now in the question FAC is required to be found. So what we are going to do, look here carefully. If the member is pushing the joint B, then the joint B will also exert a force on this member FAB, and this member will get compressed. Okay, so this is the way, and similarly this will apply a force in this direction on A. Clear? Like this. So this is FAB. What I have said in the previous points, when I am dictating the points above, what I have said to you, that if a member pushes a joint, then it will be in compression. I have clearly dictated this point in your notes. So if you observe that this member AB is pushing the joint B, and it is also pushing the joint A, and hence it is in compression, that is FAB. Clear? Now what will going to happen, if you observe the joint A very carefully, here I am making the joint A, this is the joint number A. So if you observe, the member AB will push this joint A in this direction by applying a force FAB. Clear? Now if you observe, there will be some reaction which is offered in the vertical direction like this. Clear? And this reaction will be RAV. Observe this one. I am making the reactions for you in this, wait for a while, like this. So here RAV will be, and here you will get RCV. But in this case RAH will be 0, because there is no external load acting on this structure in horizontal direction. Okay, if this angle 20 kilonewton is acting at some angle, let us say, then in that case we will get the horizontal reaction force at the joint A. But in this case the load acting at B is purely in vertical direction, so there will be no horizontal reaction at A. Okay, so FAH will be 0. So now what we are going to do, if you observe this carefully, so this angle in the question is mentioned 60 degrees. Okay, so if you observe the vertical component of FAB in this direction, that is FAB sine 60, will be equal to the reaction force RAV. And to cancel the effect of FAB cos 60 in this direction, FAB cos 60 in this direction, the member AC, this member AC will apply a force in this direction, that is FAC. Means the member AC will pulling the joint towards itself. Okay, the member AC will pulling the joint towards itself, and this implies that FAC will cancel the FAB cos 60, and hence FAC will be equals to FAB cos 60, and FAB cos 60 is nothing but 17.3205 into cos of 60, and it will be 17.3205 cos 60, so it will be 8.66 kilonewton. 8.66 kilonewton. The same answer you can get by considering the joint C. By considering the joint C. If you consider the joint C, then you have to calculate this by using the FBC. Okay, you will get the same result. You will get the same result. So if you want to get, let us look here. This is the joint C, and if you observe, the member BC is pushing the joint B, and hence it will be in compression, and it will again push the joint C also with the same magnitude like this FBC, and this FBC is acting at an angle 30 degree, and there is a external reaction developed at the roller support, that is RCV. So clearly FBC sin 30 will equal to RCV, and FBC cos 30 will be, wait for, FBC cos 30 will get cancelled by this FAC. Okay, FAC will act in this direction, and also here FAC is nothing but FBC cos 30. If you solve this FBC cos 30, putting the FBC to be 10, you will get 10 into cos of 30, and it will nothing but it is equal to 8.66 kilonewton. So you will get the same result either from this side, either from this side. Okay, so if examiner is interested to find the reactions, then the RAV will be equal to FAB sin 60, and the RCV will be equal to FBC sin 60, sorry, FBC sin 30. So in this manner you can solve the method of joint problems. Clear? Okay, there should not be any state of confusion in your mind regarding the method of joints. So we have discussed the crystal clear concept to solve the questions of trusses using the method of joints. So you can see the matter we have described to you, it is a very important one. So you should write this, all of the content in your notebook. Okay, so we are working hard to providing with the quality content in free of, without cost, without any charges. So this is the way we are going to discuss the method of joints. Right? So now what we are going to do, we are taking the questions, and before taking the question, let us look here, we have to found FAC. Okay, and we get the value of FAC to be 8.66 kilonewton, and if you observe carefully, the member AC is pulling the joint towards itself, the member AC is pulling the joint towards itself, and also the member C towards itself, and hence it will be in tension. So this 8.66 kilonewton force developed in the member AC will be tensile in nature. Tensile in nature, my dear friends. Okay, so in this way In this way, we can find the nature of the force acting in the member. So each and every point is very important. Each and every point is very important. Okay. So now we are moving further on our discussion, and let us try to solve the problems in the workbook. Okay. So let us try to solve the problems in the workbook. So I have opened the workbook. So if you do not have the workbook, then you can download this workbook from the Google Drive link provided in the description of this video. Okay, so you can download that workbook, and right now do not take the printout because this workbook is incomplete, because we have started the lecture in a short period of time. In short of the time, we are working on the workbook right now and preparing the questions of the remaining 3 chapters. We have completed the chapters, 3 chapters of our workbook. So you can observe that this is the chapter number 1st. Okay, and we have discussed some of the questions from chapter number 1st. Now we are going to start the chapter number 2nd from the next lecture, I think. Okay, so this is the translation, and it is also very important to develop the concepts. Okay, so some of the students will get confused in centripetal force and centrifugal force. Okay, they cannot relate what is the centripetal and what is centrifugal. So this, for the concept to be cleared, we have to understand the chapter translation. Okay, so in this chapter we will discuss the reference frames. Okay, so this is the chapters of translation. Then we will discuss the friction. Okay, so the IIT Bombay in the previous year, the IIT Bombay has increased some portion of the friction in the new syllabus, and also one new topic, that is Lagrangian equation, which we will discuss in the last chapter. Okay, so in the friction they have included the application of friction in wedge problem, and the application of friction in automobiles. Okay, so we are having the discussion on this topic also. So we have included the questions on these topics also. You can observe the question number 26 is from wedge. Okay, so, and we have included the question number 31, which was asked by the IIT Bombay itself in the in I think a few days ago in the civil engineering paper. So question number 31 is asked by the IIT Bombay here. So we have discussed, we have included the questions of screw jack. You can observe question number 32 and question number 34 of screw jacks, and we have question number 33 on belt drive. Some of the questions we will discuss in the class which are not provided in the workbook. So you do not have to take any worry about your content. We are providing you the quality content, and that will also free of cost, my dear friends. Okay, so now we are starting the questions on trusses. In the first chapter, you have seen some marking. These questions are discussed in our previous lecture. So if you do not watch those videos, then you can watch those videos and can clear the concept to get to solve these types of problems. Okay, so we have done, you can observe here, we have done this problem also in the previous classes, right? Now what we are going to do, observe here, I am taking a question from the workbook, and it will be question number 2. Question number 2 we are going to solve. We have discussed the question number 1st also. Okay, so we have to solve the question number 2. Now we are going to start the question number 2. Observe here, my friends. Now, okay, I think you all are enjoying the lecture. So give your reviews. Your reviews are must. Your reviews gives us motivation. So your reviews are must. Please give your reviews on our lecture in the comment box, and you can subscribe this video to your friends also. Okay. So now what we are going to do, we are going to start the question number 2. Now in question number 2, structure is given, a plain truss is given to you like this one. This is the structure which is given in the question, and this is like this. Okay, I will tell you something more about the roller support. Instead of roller support, what will happen if we will apply the two hinge support instead of roller support? We will discuss this point. This point is remaining. Okay, so what will happen if we apply the another hinged support instead of roller support? We have to discuss this point also. Okay, so this is the member, these are the members A, B, C, D, E, F. Now observe here, they have given the dimensions. This is 3 meter, this is 3 meter, this is 3 meter. Okay, and external loadings is also at a joint B in this direction, that is 20 kilonewton, and 70 kilonewton at joint C in vertically downward direction. Now they have asked the force in member DE. So we have to solve this problem. So till now we have studied only the method of joint. Okay, so we have to solve this question by using the concept of method of joints. Okay, so now we are going to start this problem. Right, so we are going to solve this. Let us choose a color, this one. So now look here. So in this problem we have two external loads, one in horizontal direction acting at B with magnitude 20 kilonewton, and one in vertical downward direction at joint number C and whose magnitude is 70 kilonewton. So what we are going to do, let us mark the reactions here. If you observe here, there will be a vertical reaction at joint A, and in this question they have given a horizontal force and 20 kilonewton in right direction. So RAH will be in this manner. RAH will be in this manner. If you consider the equilibrium of whole truss, so the net external force will be in 20 kilonewton towards the right. So the net horizontal reaction developed at A will be 20 kilonewton towards the left, so that the net horizontal force acting on the truss is 0. Okay, so RAH and RAV will be the two reactions. Since roller support is acting at the joint E, roller support is provided, so it will gives only the vertical reaction. So it will be, let us say, REV. So if you observe here, what we are going to do, we have only three equations, that is the net force will be 0, the net force along the x and y direction should be 0, and the net moment about any joint will be 0. Okay, so we have three unknowns here, that is RAH, RAV and REV, and we have to find the RDE. So if you try to solve this by method of joint, then it will be taking a lot of time, because if you took any joint, then you will solve the members in BC, members in BF, and members in BA. Then one by one you will reach towards this point. Then we'll solve and get the answer at FDE. It will be a lot of time consuming. So what I am showing you here, observe here. I am taking what I am. If you observe carefully, in this case we have to find the we have to find the support reaction. Okay, because REV is very near to FDE. It is required that we have to find REV. Okay, then if REV is known to us, then we can analyze the joint E. Okay, in which the FDE is acting, which is the required result. So if you observe what I am going to do, I am taking the net moment about the point A will be 0 as 0, because RAH and RAV has the line of action passing through the point A itself, and hence their moment will be 0 about point A. So we will have only one unknown in our equation, that is REV. Okay, so what I am going to do, I am taking the moment due to the forces. So there are now three forces which we have, which there show their effect in the net moment, that is 20 kilonewton, 70 kilonewton, and this REV. Okay, so let us take the clockwise direction as negative and counterclockwise direction as positive. So what we will have, the load acting at B, the 20 kilonewton, has the distance of line of action from joint A as 3 meter, then it will create a clockwise moment, so it will be negative. The load acting at C, the moment of load C, the moment of load 70 kilonewton in clockwise direction, and it is at a distance of 3 meter from the joint A, so it will be like this. And the moment due to the REV in counterclockwise direction, and it will be towards 6, and it will be equals to 0 like this. So if you solve this REV, then you will come to know that REV will come out to be, wait for a while, I will solve. It comes out to be 45 kilonewton. So REV will comes out to be 45 kilonewton, and since our result is positive, and hence the sign is correct, which we have taken in the problem. So REV will come out to be 45 kilonewton. Okay, so now what I am going to do, I have REV as a known quantity. Then what I am going to do, I am considering the joint E. Consider the joint E. If I consider the joint E, so what I am having at a joint E, a force REV in vertically upward direction, and it will be 45 kilonewton like this. Okay, now let us say we have RFE in this direction. We do not have much interest with RFE, because our requirement is to find RDE. Okay, so if you observe, then you can think by common sense that RDE will be in this direction. RDE will be in this direction, and if you apply the equilibrium condition, that is the net force in the y direction is 0 at a joint D, this implies that minus of RDE plus REV is equals to 0, and hence you can observe that RDA is nothing but it is 45 kilonewton, and hence we have got the answer for this problem of question number 2. The answer of question number 2 is Agra, A for Agra. Okay, so this is the question which we have discussed. Now let us move towards the question number 4. Okay, in question number 4 you have to solve this question on your own. It is a similar problem that we have discussed in above example. Clear? So you have to solve this question of your own. I have clearly described you that how to find out the nature of the load in a particular member, that it is tensile or compressive. Okay, so you have to solve the question number 4 on your own. I am giving the answer of this question. The answer of question number 4 is Chennai. C. C is the correct answer for question number 4. If you find any difficulty, then you can ask your doubt in Telegram channel by searching our name Mechanical Gate Zone. So this is question number 4 we have discussed. Okay, it is a very simple question now for you guys. Question number 5, that is m equals to 2j minus 3. 2j minus 3 is the equation of a perfect truss. Okay, m equals to 2j minus 3. This will be the answer. Question number 5 will have the answer C for Chennai. Now we are going to start to solve the question number 6, guys. Question number 6 is important. So we are going to solve the question number 6. All right. So we are going to start question number 6. So read the question. One second. Right. Two steel truss members AC and BC are subjected to a horizontal force F as shown in the figure. Okay, there are two steel truss members AC and BC subjected to a horizontal force F as shown in the figure below. All the joints are hinged. If F is equals to 1 kilonewton, then you have to found the vertical reaction force developed at this point B. This you have to find this force. Okay, RBV. You have to find this force. So let us solve this question. This is a very easy one. So what I am going a diagram for this question number 6. Right. So in question number 6 we are having like this. This is F and this is 45 kilonewton, sorry, 45 degree angle, and this angle is 60 degrees. So this is point number A, and this is point number B, and this is C. If you observe that at a joint A and B, both the joints are hinged. Okay, and C is also a hinge joint. You can observe there is no roller support in this question. Clear? So if you try to show the reactions, then you can observe that let us make the reactions. Let us say RBH in this direction. I am again saying I am assuming these directions. These may be correct or may not be. It depends upon the answer. If our answer comes out to be positive, then our assumed direction is correct, and if the answer is negative, then it means that the magnitude we are getting the correct, but the direction is opposite that we have assumed. So I am assuming RBH like this one and RBV like this one. In a similar manner, if you observe here, my friends, RAH is all the hinge joint. A is also a hinge joint, so it will be RAV, and let us mark RAH like this. And our topic of interest in this question is this member, this RBV. This RBV member is our topic of interest. Okay, So what I am going to draw, what I am going to do, I am taking the joint number C. I clearly mentioned that all the forces are to be acting on the joint. Okay, so consider the joint. The joint C is subjected to an external load capital F, and I am making this line like this. Okay, so if you observe carefully what we are going to do, by a common sense you can observe that the RAC line, the sorry the line RAC will be here, sorry, the reaction RAC like this, and the reaction RBC will be like this one, friends. Clear? So if you observe here, you can see that this is the 45-degree angle, this is the 60-degree angle. Clear? So if you observe here, what I am showing you, the horizontal component of RAC and RBC, the horizontal component of RAC and RBC, that is RAC cos 45 and RBC cos 45, get added and will cancel the force F, so that the net force in the horizontal direction at joint C becomes 0. Clear? And if you consider the equilibrium of vertical forces, then the vertical component of RAC, that is RAC cos 45, and the vertical component of the RBC, that is RBC, sorry, I have mentioned RAC cos 45, that will be not the RAC cos 45, it will be the RAC sin 45. So the vertical component of RAC, that is the RAC sin 45 in the upward direction, will be 100% equal to the vertical component of RBC, that is RBC cos, sorry, sin 60 in the vertical direction, so that the net force in the vertical direction acting at the joint C will be 0. So in this case, what I am going to do, I am applying the Lami's theorem here. I am applying the Lami's theorem here, my dear friends. So this is the R, and I am going to apply the Lami's theorem between this force and this force only, because if RBC is known to me, then I can consider the equilibrium of joint B, and from that we can find RBF very easily. So I am using the Lami's theorem between the forces RBC and F only. So RBC like this, the angle included between the RAC and this will be like this one, so it will be sine of 180 minus 45 degrees, and it will be equal to F divided by sine of 45 plus 60 degree, this angle. Okay, so RBC is nothing but sine 180 minus 45. Okay, sine 180 minus 45, so it will be equal to sine 45 itself, because sine pi minus theta is equals to sine theta, so it will be sine 45 degree divided by sine 45 plus 60 is nothing but it is 105 degrees, and into F. So if you solve this, we will solve this later. Write down is that equation number first. Now what is this RBC? So if you observe here in this figure, if you observe this figure, so what we are having, the member BC is pulling the joint, the member BC is pulling the joint C, so also it will pull the joint B, and hence it will be in tension, so skipping this part, I am directly reaching towards the joint B. So since the member BC is pulling the joint C, so it will also pull the joint B with the same magnitude RBC, my dear friends. So what I am going to show you, the joint number B here, and if you observe this is the RBC, clear, and this is the vertical reaction which we have to found, and it will be RBV, clear. Right, and also we have one more reaction, that is RBH. We have one more reaction, that is RBH, and RBH will be in this direction. RBH will be in this direction, okay, according to our convention sign which we have taken. So if you observe, my dear friends, there is, I am clearly observing that I have taken the wrong sign. You will see that the answer will comes out to be negative for RBB. So this is the angle. Since this angle is 60 degrees, so this angle is also 60 degree. Alternate opposite angles are equal. The sixth level mathematics. Clear? Now, if you observe, my dear friends, if you observe, then what we are having, right, I am considering the net force in the vertical direction to be 0. So RBC can be split into two components, one component towards the horizontal like this and another component like this. So clearly you can see that the answer of RBV is coming out to be negative here. So let us write. So it will be RBC sine 60 plus RBV will be 0, and hence RBV is equals to minus RBC sine 60. And from the equation first, put the value of RBC in this. So you will get minus of sine 60 into sine of 45 divided by sine of 105 into F. In the question, F is given to be 1 kilonewton. So you will get the answer minus of sine 60 into sine 45 divided by sine 105. So it comes out to be minus of 0.63 F, and F is nothing but 1. So it will be minus 0.63 kilonewton. And negative sign is indicating that the direction which I have assumed in the question is opposite to the actual. So RBV in actual case will act in this direction. Okay, RBV in this actual case in this direction. If you observe, my dear friends, the resultant force of RBH and RBV will be like this and will be equal to RBC. Okay, so you can observe this, friends. So this is the correct direction and this is the assumed direction. So answer for this question, that is question number 6, is A for Agra. This. Okay, so this is the way we have to solve this problem. Clear? Now what we are going to do, we are going to start the question number 9. My dear friends, question number 8 is on hold because we will solve this problem by method of section. Okay, so you can see that the complicacy of the diagram, you can understand how much time it will take if you go to solve this question by the method taught to you just few moments ago, that is the method of joints. So it will be a time consuming from that. So we will take this question with the method of section, my dear friends. So now what I am going to do, I am going to solve question number 9, my dear friends. So we are going to start the question number 9. A very good problem you can observe here. The number of zero force member in the plane truss shown below. The number of zero force member in the plane truss shown below we have to found. So first of all I am going to make a diagram. I am suggesting you, if you are learning it, if you are observing this question for a very first time, then I will suggest you to draw the diagram by HB pencil here. There is a reason behind this. Okay, I will tell you in a few moments. Make the diagram with HB pencil. This diagram in with HB pencil. So there are the joints. Here is this joint. Here is another joint like this, and there is a member like this one, and there is another member. There are actually two members here. There is one member like this, one member like this, another member like this, and we have another member like this. Okay, so this is a joint, this is joint, this is a joint, this is a joint, this is joint, and this is a joint. Okay, my dear friends, if you observe this as a point P, if you observe this, there is a load acting at this point P, and he is asking the number of zero force member, my dear friends, and this diagram is not complete still. I have to show some force members also. This is another member, and this is a member like this one, this is a member like this one. Okay, this is a member like this one, this is like member like this one, this member like this, this member, this member, this member, one second, and this member like this one. So my dear friends, this is the structure which is mentioned in the question. You can see the complicacy of this structure, how much complicated is it is. Okay, so if dimensions is given to you, then in that case also you will solve this question very wrong. You will solve that question wrong. The chances of solving the question is wrong by method of joints. So I have mentioned the concept to find out the number of zero force member. So you have to keep those concepts in your mind, my dear friends. So this is the structure you have you can see. So he is asking the number of zero force member. So before starting, I want that you should recite the points which we have discussed for the zero force member. Okay, so the first point is that if at a joint three members are meeting and two are collinear, then the force in the third member will be 0. Okay, provided that there is no load or reaction at that joint. Next is if at a joint two members are meeting and they are collinear, then the force in both the members will be 0 if there is no load or reaction at that joint. And I have clearly mentioned these 2 points to you, that how it is going like this. Okay, so using these 2 principles only, we are solving this question. We are going to find the number of zero force member, my dear friends. Okay, so look the diagram. Now first of all, what we are going to do, observe this part, observe this joint, my dear friends. If you observe this joint, then you can observe there is no load acting at this joint. These two members are collinear, and hence we can say that the force in this member is 0. So the force in this member is 0. Okay, so we have count the first member, so this force is having, this member is having 0 force, so it will not create any effect on our structure. So I am going to remove this. So I have removed this. So now we have the remaining structure like this. Clear? Now again observe, friends, point number this. If you consider this joint, then there is no load acting at this joint, and these member are collinear, and hence the force generated in this member will be 0. Okay, so if you observe this, so this is a 0 force member and will not create any effect on the system, so I am removing this again. Clear? Now consider again, my dear friends, we have covered two members which are having 0 force. Now similarly you can observe this joint. So if you consider this joint, then you will observe that the force in this member will be 0. So I am removing this again. Okay, so we have found the three members. We have found the three members, my dear friends. Similarly, if you consider this joint, these members are collinear, no force is acting on this joint, and hence force in this member comes out to be 0. So this will not create any effect, so I am removing this. That's why I am saying that draw this diagram by HB pencil so that you can erase it. In the similar fashion, my dear friends, if you observe, the force in this member is also 0, so I have removed this. So we have 5 members. Okay, if you observe, my dear friends, this part, okay, this member, this joint is having no load, and these joints are collinear. Okay, these are collinear. So if you observe, my dear friends, this will be also a 0 force member. So we have 6 member having 0 force member till now. Now consider this joint, my dear friends. If you consider this joint, this member collinear, no force is acting on this joint, so force on this force in this complete structure comes out to be 0. But keep in mind there are two members. This is member first, this is member second. Okay, so force in both of these members will be 0. So we have, my dear friends, 7 and 8. Okay, 7 and 8. So this is gonna be erased. So we have 8 members till now. If you observe, my dear friends, this part, now you will consider this part, my dear friends. In this part you will have this point and no load is acting in this point, and these members are collinear, so no force will be in this member. So we are having one more member, my dear friends. So I am erasing it and making it to be member number 9. In a similar fashion, the force in this member is also 0, so I am erasing it. So we have got the 10 members till now. Now observe, is there any other joint? So there is nothing left till now if you observe the diagram very carefully. So we have completed all the points which are having 0 forces. Okay, at this joint, however no load is acting, these are collinear, but this in this member force cannot be 0. Okay, so we have discussed that also. Only 3 members should be met. If 2 is collinear, then the force in third member should be 0. Okay, so there are 4 members meeting at this joint, so there will not be 0 force member in this case. So the answer for this question is there are 10 members, my dear friends. So you can observe that how we analyze this question, and it is a very good question, my dear friends. So you should try this question first time with HB pencil, then you have to mark the members directly on the figure itself, like this one. Okay, so we have discussed these cases. So in actual case, if when you get the practice, then you should mark the figure in this manner, my dear friends, like this way. I am marking 1 0 force member, 2 member, 3 members, 4 member, 5 member, 6 members, 7 members, 8 members, 9 members, and 10 members. Okay, like this you have to solve when you have the practice of such type of questions. So we will get the question number 9 as a answer of the answer of question number 9 is C. So we have done question number 9 also, my dear friends. Okay, so let us end this video here. In the next class we will bind up this chapter by solving the questions using the method of section. First I will explain the method of section, then we will solve the question with the method of section. So have a good day, have a great journey. So if you have not subscribed our channel, then you can subscribe our channel, and if any query or any doubt related to the content which we have given, if you have any query, any doubt, then you can ask your doubt on our Telegram channel, my dear friends. So तब तक के लिए नमस्कार.